Isn't it crazy that there's like a whole baby horse in this belly right now? That's just nuts, Maggie. Maggie is at 300 days pregnant today. So today is December 5th. We are really crossing our fingers that she does not have her baby before January. I think she'll make it there, but I figured it'd be fun to do a checkup on all the broodmares and show you what Maggie looks like at 300 days pregnant. Average gestation for a horse is about 340 days. They can go longer than that. Earliest you ever want to see a mare having a baby is like 315 days, and that is early. We don't want that. We have about a month left before Miss Maggie pops. So let's take a look at her. So let's get a good little side view of the belly. Now, this is only Maggie's second foal, and she is what we call a recip. So she is a surrogate mare for a higher quality mare that was a show horse. It is Goody Goody Gumdrops and Machine Made, which are two incredible show horses in the AQHA community. Goody Goody Gumdrops is actually the mother of a stallion I breed to named VS Goodride. Machine Made is arguably one of the best stallions of our time. So I thought that was amazing. And then when we got Maggie, and she's so sweet, so easy to work with, good recip mares are very hard to find. So I asked if I could buy her as well and keep using her as a recip mare for my own mares. And that's what happened. This is her second baby ever. And we're excited to see how she is. I've heard she's a good mama. They said she was very easy to work with and easy to foal out. She's also a thoroughbred, so she's not a quarter horse. She doesn't carry weight the same way. She's not gonna be quite as like full in her rump and in her shoulder, but that belly is popping these days. Ginger's talking to us back there. But also with the fact that this is only her second baby, she's only 7 years old, her udder might not quite be as large as some of the older mares. She might not get quite as large in her stomach. It's like a younger woman having babies versus an older woman who's had more babies. You just don't show as quickly and that kind of thing. Another thing we check for with mares when we're getting closer to them foaling is their softness in their hip. They will get jelly-like right here because they are making way, they are loosening up for that baby to make its exit. And their tail will also get very relaxed. I can't pick it up farther than here right now, so it's very rigid still, which is good. But when they get closer to foaling, their tail will become really relaxed and you can almost flip it over their butt because they have to be able to open up for that baby to come out. And then her udder is still pretty small, but compared to the other mares you will see later in the video, you can see how it's already starting to fill out. So yeah, this is our mama who is closest to having her baby. Her due date is January 14th. Honestly, as long as she makes it into January, I'm good, but no Christmas babies, Maggie. So the next up after Maggie is Ginger. Ginger isn't due technically until March 5th. Her mama always has her foals early, and this is Ginger's first baby. Now we raised Ginger. She was born here on the farm. So we're excited for her first baby and for Beyonce to become a grandmother. So being a maiden, she could come a little bit early and have a February baby. It'd be kind of fun because her birthday is February 28th. So if she had a little birthday twin, that'd be pretty special. But since it's her first baby and she's a little bit farther out than Maggie, let's look at her body and see kind of what her udder and belly looks like. Her belly's not nearly as big. Like I said, she's a first-time mama, just like humans, and she's young. So her belly is a lot bigger than it was for her. So we've been kind of keeping up with how she's progressed, but we did just up her food to hopefully help her gain a little bit more weight. And then her udder, actually, what's kind of funny is her udder looks bigger than like Gracie's does. Like her teats look more stretched out. Everyone's different. So take a look at that and how different that is, but you will see there's like no substance. There's no milk in there, right? But she is also a couple of months farther ahead in her pregnancy than the other mares that we will see later in the video. And then this is a really good example to show her butt. She is like firm. This is probably a lot looser than it was a few months ago, but she's very firm compared to our other mares. And then her tail, very rigid, will not even pick it up. Thank you for letting us see that, Gingy. So Maggie and Ginger are inside due to the fact that we took them off of grass completely. We have a fescue grass here in Tennessee. And so because of the endophyte in that grass, horses cannot eat it. Well, I guess they can, but they shouldn't eat it in the last couple of months of gestation because it can cause early birth. It can cause red bag deliveries, which is where the placenta detaches. It can cause like lack of milk production. So they've been pulled off of grass. So they go into a dry lot and have Timothy hay. Well, Trudy isn't due until I believe March, well, we can look right here, due March 26th. Her last 2 babies, she has had 10 days early. This will be her 3rd baby. So we could be looking at a mid-March foal for Miss Trudy, but she banged up her leg the other day. I guess she was talking smack to Cool. Cool kicked her. So she's got a pretty good gash on her leg and it's a little bit swollen. So we've been giving her anti-inflammatories, keeping it clean, and keeping her in the stall for a couple of days. So while she's in here, let's just go ahead and look at her. We call her Big Booty Trudy for a reason. She is large and in charge. So she's due, you know, late March. We've got a few months to go and this baby belly it's there. You can definitely tell she's pregnant. And then with her 3rd baby, you can see her udder has no milk made yet, but it looks like she's had babies before. See, to me, even though she's not close, she's a little jigglier than like Ginger was because she's had some babies and she had a baby last year. So that's a little softer. Can I look at your tail, honey? Just for a second. And then her tail is pretty rigid as well. She won't let me pick it up. So in later updates of these broodmares, we will be checking these same things and you can kind of see the difference that it makes a couple of months closer to foaling. And then if you would like to, I have all the broodmare updates from last year's foals if you want to go see kind of what they look like getting closer to foaling. Now let's head outside to see Indy, Cool, and Gracie. So we looked at the mares in the barn first. Now, I would say it was the first 3 due, last 3 due, but you'd have to flip-flop Trudy and Cool because Cool is due a couple of weeks earlier than Trudy, but they are both of our mares due in March. So let's go look at these mares who aren't quite as far along, which is kind of funny because they're all the fattest ones, but. Hi, honeys. None of these mares are due until March and later. Gracie and Indy back here are due in early April. I believe it's Gracie's due like a day or 2 earlier than Indy, or it's flip-flopped around. I need to go check on that. We're gonna wait on these 2 till April. She is actually a recip, just like Maggie is. So she is carrying for our mare Beyonce. If you watched all of the foaling last year, then Beyonce had Finn, and Gracie carried a Beyonce baby for her as well named Petey. So that's so fun. So she's having a full sibling to Finn, meaning the sire is VS Good Ride. Now, this is her 2nd baby ever. You can definitely tell she's pregnant. She shows pretty early on, but her udder is a lot smaller than that of mares that have had a lot more babies. So you can actually see how teeny tiny it is. But when we look at both Indy and Cool, who have had multiple babies, and they've both been broodmares a large chunk of their life, you'll see a difference in their udders. Cool here's 20. She looks amazing for her age. She is due March 10th. We've only had 1 baby with her, which was Waylon, and he was born, I believe, about a week early. So we could be looking at a really early March baby with her. Now, I've already upped her food. I think she needs to gain a little bit more weight. Sometimes with older mares, they don't gain weight quite as easily, but she looks fine to me. She looks really healthy. So you see her udder, while she's nowhere close to having a baby, it just is a little more like saggy. I hate to say that. I'm sorry, Cool. But you can tell the teats, even though there's no milk in there, they look like they have room for more milk, if you know what I mean. Now, Indy's known for having like the biggest belly out of everybody. We like to measure their bellies just for fun and see how they progress. And her belly was like 95 inches already. So I think it's safe to say we're gonna hit that 100 mark. If you can see through the fence over there, that's Beyonce hanging out. So Beyonce's not having a baby this year of her own, meaning she's not going to carry one, but Gracie is having her baby for her. Indy, hush, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's in a tizzy about something. It's not food time yet. Look how gorgeous she is. Oh my gosh. So this will be Indy's 2nd baby with us. She had her 1st baby right on time. So like literally a day from her due date. So if she does that again, then we will be having, I think, an April 8th baby. I don't think she's gonna let us look at her udder, but it's saggy like Cool's. So take my word for it. Well, there's your first broodmare update going into the 2024 foaling season. It's crazy that my YouTube channel is almost a year old. Last year, we started out the channel by doing broodmare updates with last year's babies, so this is just crazy. I'm so excited. Let me know if you have any questions, what you would like to see in the updates coming up, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe, like, and comment. Those 3 things help me so much. See you in the next one.